So just in the previous panel, we heard a very deep analysis of the Israeli-Hamas war, which lasts a month. The large-scale war that Russia launched against Ukraine lasting already more than 20 months. And if you take the year 2014 as the beginning of the war, when Russia annexed Crimea and occupied my homeland Donbass, it lasts more than 14 years, 9 years. So, are there any parallels? Are these different wars, different conflicts, the legacy conflict, the new conflicts? But the more I was listening to the speakers, and especially Professor Ben-Ami, the more I am in opinion that actually the deeper you think, the more you're convinced that this is not two wars, this is one war. Because the deep roots of this is about an attempt, an aspiration to rewrite rules of the world security order. It starts with a regional agenda, it goes beyond region, and it rises up to the ambition to rewrite the rules of the global security order. Therefore, it is very important to be a very sober and precise view of the reason why Kremlin, Putin's regime, Russia, launched war against Ukraine. I am in firm opinion that it was not, and it is not about the territory. It is not about taking Crimea, it is not about taking eastern Ukraine, it is not about taking Odessa, it's not about taking Kyiv, it's not about territory. The real ambition of Russia acting as a revisionist power that aspires, together with others, to rewrite the rules of the current security order. This is what is at stake. Those who will win this war will write the rules of the order. If we accept this, then any notion of a potential peace deal, as far as Ukraine's war is concerned, based on the principle land for peace, any peace deal based on this principle land for peace is doomed. It will fail, because this war, yet again, is not about the territory. The next point I would like to make is this war lasts more than 20 months. And I was meeting people here recently in Greece, in Athens, and people were asking the same question. What is the end game? How to end this war? And I am always starting with appreciation, the support that Ukraine has received and is receiving from our partners, from our allies, from the United States, from the European Union countries, from G7, from Greece, from Cyprus, the EU member states, from all those who believe that the real price has to be paid to preserve the peace in the continent and widely. I start with this, and the line that the US government is keeping to take, European leaders, is we will stay with Ukraine as long as it takes. It's a very important line, because it indicates, it shows not just to us Ukrainians, but to Putin, a commitment. The question, after the 20 months of the war, is it enough? We will stay with Ukraine as long as it takes, for what? To defend Ukraine. Right. Necessary, but not sufficient. Because if the foreign policy and security policy goal is to defend, it leaves the other side of the equation not clarified. And we believe that after the more than 20 months of this war, that moved from maneuvering war to a positional war, war of attrition, I think it is a high time to add the final and very much necessary part of this equation, which is we are currently, I believe, missing. We will stay with Ukraine as long as it takes to win this war. What does it mean in practice? In practice, in a very blunt manner, it means that either Ukraine is provided with proper arms to win the modern war, or we all, not just Ukraine, we all will be suffering from the continuation of this war of attrition, which would inbuild and increase instability, not just in the Eastern Europe, because as I said, it's not the peripheral war, but in Europe as such, in the adjacent regions like East Med and broader, North Africa, and beyond. Because the longer war lasts, the more chances, the higher probability that the new conflicts will appear or will be unfrozen. The more this war lasts, the more solid becoming the alliance of the international dictators international, Russia, Syria, Belarus, North Korea, Iran. It was not so visible a year ago. Now it's palpable. And with the facts on the ground, like Iranian missiles, Iranian drones, North Korean artillery shells. So this is the price to be paid. Winston Churchill, in 1943, while speaking about the United States, he said, the price of greatness is responsibility. And as a historian, as Professor Ben-Ami, I also would like to recall the 50 years ago, and I will end at this point, 50 years ago, at the time of the Yom Kippur War, to be exactly on the 18th of October of 1973, State Secretary Henry Kissinger made a phone call to Russian Soviet ambassador at that time, Anatoly Dobrynin. So they exchanged the views of the situation on the ground. Militarily, it was this conflict stalemated. And then Kissinger said something that resonates when we are currently looking of the way forward. He said, my nightmare scenario is a victory of either side. I'm not going to make a parallels, but I believe we need to avoid, by all means, the situation when the price to be paid only one side, and the numbers, and the hundreds of thousands of people killed, and to be killed, if the war will go on, and to take responsibility, because this is price of the greatness, to provide necessary weapons to win this war, to increase sanctions that would limit room for maneuver for Kremlin's regime, and to open the way, because of this weight of this war, to unlock a solution in the future, I believe in a very close future, for such things like reunification of Cyprus, like putting an end to frozen conflicts around the area, and to finally provide an opportunity to strengthen the world order, to make it more adjust for the 21st century, for the benefit of the people and the peoples around the world. Thank you very much.